everybody. This is Jeff here. So it's been a while. Tonight, what I want to do is some Shakespeare. I like to do some Titus and Andronicus. And I always hear um, people who do this. I always hear them saying desserts all the time instead of deserts. And then I use Folio 1. So, but in the modern text it's deserts, because, desserts you want more of, and deserts you want less of. Okay, so, in Shakespeare it's deserts, not desserts. But tonight I am going to sell out tonight, and I'm even going to do an extra scene. This time when I do it, it's gonna be with desserts. I'm gonna sell out. So here we go. All right. Titus, Act 1, Scene 1. Enter Saturninus. Noble patricians, patrons of my right, defend the justice of my cause with arms. And countrymen, my loving followers, plead my successive title with your swords. I was the first-born son, that was the last that wore the imperial diadem of Rome. Then let my father's honors live in me, nor wrong mine age with this indignity. And then Bassianus says, Romains, friends, followers, if ever favors of my right, if ever Bassianus, Caesar's son, were gracious in the eyes of royal Rome, keep then this passage to the capital, and suffer not dishonor to approach the imperial seat to virtue, consecrate to justice, continence, and nobility, but let desert and peer election shine, and Romains fight for freedom and your choice. Enter Marcus Andronicus, aloft with the crown. Princes that strive by factions and by friends, ambitiously for rule and empery, know that the people of Rome, for whom we stand, a special party, have by common voice, in election for the Roman empery, have chosen Andronicus, surnamed Pius, for many good and great deserts for Rome, a nobler man, a braver warrior, lives not this day within the city walls. He by the Senate is a cited home. From their wars against the barbarous goes, and with his sons and terror to our foes, have yoked a nation strong, trained it up in arms. 10 years are spent since first he undertook his cause of Rome, and chastised with arms our enemy's pride. 5 times yet returned, bleeding to Rome, bearing his valiant sons in coffins from the field. And now, at last, laden with honor's spoils, returns the good Andronicus to Rome, renowned Titus, flourishing in arms. Let us entreat by honor of his name, whom worthily you would have now succeed, and in the capital and senate right, whom you pretend to honor and adore, that you withdraw you, and you abate your strength. Dismiss your followers, and as suitors should, plead your deserts in peace and humbleness. Banana's a dessert. So it's with desserts, because I'm having a banana, so it's with desserts. I sold out. I'm doing it with a dessert this time. uh, I'm gonna do a new scene. Let me just finish my dessert. It's pretty good. Alright, enter. Now this is Act 5, Scene 2. Enter Titus Andronicus with a knife, and Lavinia with the basin. I've never done this one. So, Titus says, Come, come, Lavinia. Look, thy foes are bound. Sirs, stop their mouths. Let them not speak to me, but let them hear what fearful words I utter. O villains, Chiron and Demetrius, here stands the spring, whom you have stained with mud. This goodly summer with your winter mixed, you killed her husband, and for that violent fault 2 of her brothers were condemned to death. My hand cut off, and made a merry jest, both her sweet hands, her tongue, and that more dear than hands or tongue, her spotless chastity. Inhumane traitors, you constrained and forced. What would you say if I should let you speak? Villains, for shame you could not beg for grace. Hark, wretches, how I mean to martyr you. This one hand yet is left to cut your throats, whilst that Lavinia between her stumps doth hold the basin that receives your guilty blood. You know your mother means to feast with me, and calls herself revenge, and thinks me mad. Hark, villains, I will grind your bones to dust, and with your blood in it I'll make a paste, and of the paste a coffin I will rear, and make 2 pasties of your shameful heads, and bid that strumpet your unhallowed down, like to earth swallow her increase. This is the feast that I have bid her to, and this the banquet she shall surfeit on. For worse than Philomo you used my daughter, and worse than Progna I will be revenged. And now prepare your throats. Lavinia, come, receive the blood, and when that they are dead, let me go grinding their bones to powder small, and with this hateful liquor temper it, and in that paste let their violet heads be baked. Come, come, be every one officious, to make this banquet, which I wish might prove more stern and bloody than the centaur's feast. And now bring them in, for I'll play the cook. He cuts their throats. He cuts their throats. Okay, so that was my first run through. That I want to do that. I want to do that one more often. I could see where there's room for improvement on that, but give me time. You know what I mean? So anyway. So, Act 5, Scene 3, I want to do the last part of it. This is the very last scene. So, a table is brought in, and enter Titus like a cook, placing the meat on the table and Lavinia with the veil over her face. And Titus says, Welcome, my gracious lord. Welcome, dread queen. Welcome, ye warlike gods. Welcome, Lucius. And welcome all, though the cheer be poor. 'Twill fill your stomachs, please, you eat it. And Saturninus says, Why art thou thus attired, Andronicus? And Titus says, because I'll be sure to have all well, to entertain your highness and your empress. Then Tamar says, we are beholding to you, good Andronicus. And then Titus says, and if your highness knew my heart, you were. My lord, the emperor, resolve me this. Was it well done, rash Virginius, to slay his daughter with his own right hand, because she was enforced, stated, and deflowered? Then Saturninus says, it was, Andronicus. Then Titus says, your reason, mighty lord? Then Saturninus says, because the girl should not survive her shame, and by your presence still renew his sorrows. And then Titus says, a reason mighty strong and effectual, a pattern, precedent, and lively warrant, for me to perform the like. Die, die, Lavinia, and thy shame with thee, and with thy shame thy father's sorrow die. He kills her. And then Saturninus says, what hast done, unnatural and unkind? And Titus says, killed her for whom my tears have made me blind. I am as woeful as Virginius was, and I have 1,000 more times cause than he. And then Saturninus says, what? Was she ravished? Tell who did this deed. And then Titus says, will please you eat, will please your highness feed. And then Tamar says, why hast thou slain thine only daughter? Then Titus says, not I, 'twas Chiron and Demetrius. They ravished her and cut away her tongue, and 'twas they that did her all this wrong. And then Saturninus says, go fetch them hither to us presently. And then Titus says, why, there they are both, baked in that pie, whereof their mother daintily hath fed, eating the flesh that she herself hath bred. 'Tis true, 'tis true. Witness my knive's sharp point. And he stabs the empress. And it goes forward. Alright. That's all I wanted to do. To be honest, I could have. That's not my best. To be honest, it's just I really wanted to do the banana thing, so I could have a dessert. With it because that's what they all say. That's what they all say. So I had to have dessert, and I know it wasn't the best. I could have. I usually do better, but I'm like I don't really want another banana right now, so I guess we'll just have to go with that. So, yep. I mean, what? And if you read it, if you look at it, everyone's saying desserts, and it says deserts. It says deserts is what it says. So what words? I mean, that's a weird word choice. I just want to point this out. So just real quick. So but let desert and pure election shine. Okay, that's weird. So what would make more sense? Dessert, right? A banana. No, a banana does not make more sense. What makes sense is faith. But let faith in pure election shine. That makes sense. And Romans, fight for freedom in your choice. Yeah, faith. Okay, so what other places what is it used? An election for the Roman emperor, chosen Andronicus, surnamed Pius, for many good and great deserts to roam. For many good and great bananas to roam. No. For many good and great crusades to roam. For many good and great crusades to roam. A nobler man, a braver warrior, lives not this day within the city walls. So what is he saying? Deserts, crusades, faith in election, faith in pure election shine, deserts and pure election shine. Yeah. So that's what I'm like. That's what I eat your bananas. You have your bananas. Have your dessert. Have the dessert. have the bananas, cause yeah, desert. It's a desert. So uh, anyway, so where was I? So does that work again? Does that idea work again? Okay, so that you would draw you and debate your strength, dismiss your followers, and as suitors should, plead your deserts in peace and humbleness. Plead your prayers. Almost like prayers is what would fit in there. Prayers would fit, but like plead your so dismiss your followers and as suitors should, plead your cases or plead your causes. It's like so, but it's probably more like prayers or something like that. Plead your sermons, but it's not in the same context. But yeah, so I don't know what you call that. Either way, deserts. What will be is what will be. So everything will work out just fine because it's freedom. Is the idea. Yeah, that's the idea here. Is that what this is what it's clearly saying is that yeah, it's going to be fine because everything is freedom. And there's election, there's pure election, so therefore everything's going to be fine. And that and if you're doing the right thing with the church for a crusade or something like that, then everything will do good. Everything will be good if you just follow God, is what it's saying. And but that's the thing, is that he's saying deserts for a reason. So it's like yeah, plead your deserts in peace and humbleness. What will be is what will be. And just because there's freedom and there's elections and things like this, that doesn't mean you're gonna be all right. That does not mean you're gonna be all right. So if you just leave it to life itself and that's it, you'll get whatever it is, be it desert or whatever. So that's why you should grow bananas. That's why you should have bananas. See, doesn't that make sense? That's why you should have bananas. Take care of yourself and have bananas. Because it's a desert. So take care of yourself and don't trust that it's going to be alright. Because it's God or freedom. No. It's a desert out there, so make and have bananas, okay? That's the moral of the story. That's the moral of Titus and Andronicus, if you ask me. Do better. Because if you just leave it to fate, it'll just probably won't go well for you, so have a banana, alright? Take care of yourself. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on this. Just love. Thank you all for watching. Bye.